introductions, and we're going to start out with your name and what is your favorite food, and no judging. Whatever your favorite food is okay. So I'm Teresa Bender, and my favorite food is probably, well, back in the day, I would say cheeseburgers and fries. I used to eat them a lot, which could contribute to some of the health issues I've had in the past. But I would say a really good salad, something that I wouldn't normally make at home with lots of yummy stuff on it that's tasty. Vegetables, nuts, flaxseed, a good dressing, maybe a balsamic vinaigrette. That's my favorite food now.
Well, I'm John Bender, Chef John. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate this. Sorry it's kind of hot in here. This is our first class, so we're working out the bugs. So my favorite food when I was 5 years old is I would take Frosted Flakes and I would pour them in a bowl, and then I would pour sugar on top of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I would pour milk and I would eat them. But that wasn't very good. I had 13 cavities by the time I was like 6 years old now. Thank goodness my father was a dentist, so and they were baby teeth, so by the time my newbies came in. But if you would have asked me a year ago, it would be salmon, hands down. I mean, the staff has seen me eat salmon from the can all day long, sushi, smoked salmon. But lately, I've become a big fan of Brussels sprouts, broccoli, hummus, grapes, cashews, bell peppers, blueberries, these raw organic protein shakes, and we're going to be sharing some of that with all of you. What we're going to do, we're going to give you a few snacks to just get started, and then we're going to go into a cooking session with Chef Teresa. And hopefully we'll be showing you some new things to try. So let's just go right into it. These are some raw organic protein drinks. Now when I was a boy growing up, there was Ovaltine. There's pea protein, brown rice, so there's a little bit of rice in there, buckwheat, millet, quinoa is how you pronounce that. It's kind of spelled funny. Garbanzo beans, lentil, flaxseed, sunflower. So there's a lot of different proteins in there. They put it in with a little chocolate. And we also have a sport drink. I think Teresa's favorite is this.
The sport has more protein in it.
So you can use a whole scoop, but I found if you just take a half scoop, that's more than plenty. It's very filling, and you want to stir this organic protein really, really well. Otherwise it gets kind of clumpy. And if it's stirred well, it tastes great. If it's clumpy, then you may not enjoy the flavor of it as much. Now, you can drink this as a meal replacement. One of the reasons we serve this really hot is it actually fills you up. So, because I don't want people sitting hungry while we're cooking. And so it's a good way to just kind of nourish yourself. So one of the things we'll learn in the movie is nuts you have to think of almost like a butter. They're healthy, but they're very, very rich. And so what I set in front of you is a portion size you want to basically have like a golf ball size, not a nuts and shake. So just kind of picture oatmeal, pretend like you're having your oatmeal first thing in the day. And this is called Oat Milk by Califia Farms. It's unsweetened. You count it as a carb. You would think of this as like eating bread, okay? So it's there's some protein in it.
This is gonna last longer. This is a refrigerated item. I buy this at Sprouts. I don't know if they have it in the same ways. I haven't looked, but this will last longer than your regular gallon of milk. I've had one in my fridge for 3 months.
So,
You get that at Amazon too?
I don't know.
can anyone tell me what this is?
I'm gonna picture of that.
Almost. It is a kind of pan. This is a steamer, yes, this is a steamer. How many here have a steamer in their home? Okay, how many have used their steamer in the last 3 months? So Teresa and I've gotten where we're using it almost every day. Now the thing about the steamer, it has separate parts. So this one's hot, so I'm gonna be kind of cautious with it. But there's a steaming portion, and inside the pan, you can see there's just a little bit of water. I'm gonna show you, we don't put a whole lot in there. It barely covers the bottom. You don't need a lot. Yep, and so we're gonna set that back on the stove here. And what we're gonna be steaming today are a little bit of some Brussels sprouts and some broccoli. Now I'm gonna want a sharp knife, probably a flat one. Do you have a? You do it. So these are Brussels sprouts that we got at Farmer's Market. Now they're very good even just raw. I mean, this is something you can eat raw each day. And all I'm doing is just cutting them in half. And that just adds a little more surface area. It helps them to cook a little bit faster. And this is a meal that you can have ready in under 15 minutes. Basically, you cut up your Brussels sprouts, and then we get them on the in the steamer. And I start the Brussels sprouts before the broccolini because they take a little longer to cook. We'll cook it over medium heat, but I'm just going to put on high to get it going, and then we'll do that. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to be steaming some broccolini. Now broccolini is just basically like a fancy baby broccoli, but it's very healthy, it's very tender, it steams really nicely. If you go to fancier restaurants, a lot of times they'll use this instead of like full broccoli. It's not quite as woody. I actually like the broccoli stalks. I cut them up like little chips and dip them in hummus. And these can just be laid out like so inside of your pan. So I think that'll be fun. Who likes broccoli? Is there anyone here who doesn't like broccoli? Because if you say you don't like it, you have to eat two. I'm just kidding. The next thing we're going to get going are sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are one of the healthiest foods in the world. There's actually a couple studies that I've looked at with sweet potato and some anecdotal stories. Does anyone know where in the world people live the longest? So here in Larimer County, if we have 5,000 people, how many will live to be 100? One. Yeah, one. It's less than 1%. It's 1 out of 5,000. It's like 0.0002%. So 1 out of 5,000 people live to be 100. At 3 o'clock today, Michael and I are going to go interview one of them, a gal who's 102, who's been my patient since Carlson retired. The longest lived woman in the U.S. just recently died, and if you Google sweet potatoes, oldest woman in the U.S., she actually tells, it's probably just because she eats sweet potatoes all the time. The other part I was getting to, though, is Okinawa, the island of Okinawa, where there's a great war in World War II, is actually where the people in the world live the longest. 7 out of every 5,000 people in Okinawa live to be 102 or 100. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, but one of the reasons they think is they eat a lot of sweet potatoes. You look at other islands, similar size, similar demographic, like Hawaii has an incredible amount of diabetes. But they have sugar cane, they have coconut oil, they have a lot of things that are very sweet, and they don't necessarily have the sweet potatoes. They have some yams that are similar. So anyway, I'm a big believer in the health of sweet potato. So to cook these up, we basically just wrap them in cellophane. You can also buy them pre-wrapped. And you're going to go about 3 minutes per sweet potato in the oven. So this is, because these are smaller, we're just going to do these for about 12 minutes. Now, our Brussels sprouts, meanwhile, have been on the steamer for about 3 minutes. And so that's long enough now that we can get over here and we can put our broccolini in. So I'm putting our broccolini in the steamer now. And we'll get this going. One of my patients was telling me he's been eating the rabbit food I recommended. And I had to remind him that the biggest animals in the world, like gorillas and elephants and just rippling with muscles, stallions, big bulls, all vegetarians. So eat that rabbit food, but they are not rabbits by any stretch. While we're waiting, we're going to pass around some plates here and give you some hand food that you can snack on. These are just some delightful little treats. They're really healthy for eating the day. Like for morning breakfast, you could have like some grapes, you could have some blueberries. So we'll just set these here. We'll let you guys kind of pass around family style. These are baby sweet peppers. Has anyone ever eaten these little mini sweet peppers?
Oh, yeah.
A little orange. So if you've never had them, they're to die for. They're absolutely amazing. You should grab 2. And now we have a special treat. In addition to the steamer, we do a lot of juicing at the Bender House, and Miss Teresa is going to show us how to do some juices that are amazing.
Who all has a juicer? Okay. Do you have a blender? They're not the same. Okay? So in juicing, it's going to take out the skins and the bulk stuff and just make it liquid. In a blender, if you were to put all this in a blender, I have celery, cucumber, lemon, lime, apple, and cilantro. If you were to put all this in a blender, it's gonna blend it all together, and it might not even blend because it's too bulky. Mine is a Jack LaLanne. I bought it off of Amazon for like $40. So when you're looking to buy a juicer, you actually want it to be a juicer, not a blender. And I just cut it up, my vegetables and my fruit, into just like smaller portions so that it fits in my juicer. My favorite is celery, cucumber, apple, lime, and cilantro, but you can use whatever combination you would prefer. Put them in the little top portion here. Okay, now who has chickens and who has a garden? Okay? Chickens, garden, anybody? Because what's left over in your little compository here when you're done is all the fibrous part of it. So you could take this, if any of you compost. I can't where I live because I have too many geese and they create a problem, but this is great compost for your garden, your flower, feed it to your chickens. So we have our zucchini here, and I brought a couple different ways to slice the zucchini. This is an electronic one. The issue with this is going to be the diameter. Okay, so you stick it on there and start cranking. You can see how the noodles come out, just like that. Can everybody see that? But you could boil them like you do your spaghetti noodles or your linguine noodles. You don't have to cook them as long. You can cook them maybe 5 minutes in boiling water. Your sweet potatoes.
Now the sauce we'll be serving you today is an organic marinara sauce. This comes from Sprouts.
They do make this sauce with no salt added, but you
That's
know,
true.
when you're trying
Yeah.
to modify and change parts of your diet, it's not all or none. You can't do it. Some people can. In the film, you'll see that some people did it, and they have had remarkable healthcare dramatic changes for the good. But everybody's different, so don't be too hard on yourself. You know, if you're drinking soda, try to just juice more and drink more water. You know, just do little things at a time. Don't do all or none if you're not that type of person.
Okay, our sweet potatoes are done now, and they are piping hot, just like regular potatoes. I leave the skins on. I'd encourage you to try to train yourself to eat the skins and to enjoy them, because that's where a lot of the vitamins are. That's also true of apples, and even eating a little bit of orange peel, as harsh as that sounds, can actually be pretty healthy. Yes, marinara sauce.
I'm hoping you're I'm off my cholesterol medicine, and those things, high blood pressure, diabetes. So basically, flour, sugar, salt, oils, and this film will say dairy and cheese. Those are not your friend. So they're not your friend. Garlic salt in moderation.